first time in a long time. Oh my goodness. It is very early in the morning for me. I should probably close those blinds. I should probably get a hat. Let's do those things. Hang on. It is way too sunny, that glare. Great thing about my place, lots of sun. Bad thing for recording though. Oh, let's see. If I do that and that, does that help? Massively. Now we've just got the edges glaring. And then a hat. Okay, I think I'm more ready now. The only thing I really had was a bowl of cereal and a Coulter in front of me. Oh, God, it's good. Good old bowl of cereal. Good old bowl of Sugar Crisp. I rarely eat cereal. But sometimes it's nice. So, I know I haven't spoken in a while. I have been... I guess maybe we should just do an update episode. Yeah, let's do an update episode. What have I been doing? Working. And working. And working. I had an interesting summer for work. Something that happened that has never happened before. I had somebody that I work with tragically pass away. And that was weird because I felt kind of dissociated. And what's odd about it is that obviously people in my life have passed away, but they've never left me more work as a result. But I'm not mad. Like, I'm not angry. Like, you'd think I'd be enraged by the fact that this person left me all this extra work. I thought that would be my reaction more than anything else. I'd be mad, and I'd be then upset that I was mad, which would make me madder. But I'm not mad. I'm just tired. And it's one of those things, again, where, you know, we got to beep it up with the Coulters to kind of like make it through the week because there's a lot to do. What I find a little frustrating sometimes is, again, in the kind of environment where I work, it's just like you never seem to be able to find your footing. In that the pace of change needed is really stressful. This whole situation had me thinking a lot about my own health, mortality. Definitely a little bit more nervous about my heart, he said as he held a Coulter at 9:30 in the morning. Oh, it's so good. But, yeah, like going to the gym and kind of going, I wonder if all this treadmilling is good for me. Or working till like 8 o'clock at night and going, I wonder if doing this is good for me. I have a lot of ambition in my career of where I want to get to. And then suddenly I don't know if this is normal, but they're being intruded by thoughts of maybe something quiet and settled is good enough. You know? We won't listen to that, though. We'll do what all the comedians say I should do, which is bottle everything up and keel over at 55. What else has been going on? I got new lighting in the house. That was fun. in that it was needed. One small frustration, they had to cut some holes in my ceiling. And my electrician did a good job of like putting the squares back. And all I have to do is really just kind of spackle where he replaced the drywall on the ceiling. However, in my entranceway, so my house kind of, you come in the house and then you go up a few stairs for the main floor, you go down a few stairs for the basement. It's called split level. So that means in the entranceway where it's kind of between the two levels, the ceiling is like 11 feet up. And I cannot, due to my humble stature, reach high enough to spackle the ceiling. If I was what women wanted, 5'10"-ish, 6 foot, no problem. But at my modest height, can't reach. It's frustrating. I'm annoyed. I'm looking at it now and it bothers me. But anyway, that's okay. So work, some lights, the usual, going to the Gime. Had a situation at the Gime this week where the gym opens at 5 on Monday mornings, supposedly, and at 5 o'clock in the morning on Monday. Actually, 5 past 5, because we were about, you'd be surprised, everybody thinks I'm a lunatic, but there was, a good dozen people there already. And we're all standing at the door waiting for the girl to open the door. And she came outside and says, sorry, I can't open the gym because I can't turn on the lights. I guess it's kind of tied to lighting. So my gym is massive. However, some genius electrician or contractor decided it would be a great idea to put all the light switches in the reception area, no problem there. That's logical. But then to put them behind a door that could lock, so that the girl that got there in the morning didn't have the key to open that door and couldn't turn on the lights to brighten the gym. I will say that I have been at gyms that are a little bit more street than that, where the power went out at 3 o'clock in the morning. I don't know, why was I there at 3 in the morning? I think I had a client back in those days. It was like 20 years ago. Not quite 20 years ago. I had a client that was like really far away from where I lived, so I had to leave my apartment at like 6:30 to get to where my client was by like 8:30. And so I would just get up at like 2:30 in the morning to go work out. So I'd be there at like 3:30. And I remember once, I can't remember if it was winter or not, but just the power went out and it was like just black in the gym and no one left. You could hear weights clanking in the dark. Like people just continued doing their sets. That's the kind of gym that I like. That's the kind of service I expect from a gym. So I have to say I was a bit frustrated when the little Gen Z 20-something, if she's 20, comes out and goes, I can't turn on the lights. I can't open. And it's just like, there's no apology. And because, of course, I believe in redundancy, I actually have a second membership at a different gym down the street for occasions like this and holidays, because my main gym doesn't stay open all the time. This other gym is 24/7, 365. Now, before you say, why didn't you just stay with the backup gym as your only gym? It's because the backup gym does not have, it's like a discount gym. It's cleaner than the main gym, which is interesting, but it's a discount gym, which means it does less equipment, has less, the equipment is less robust, a little bit less fancy, not fancy. The treadmills are a little more ghetto. Their weights are limited. Their machinery is limited. It's much smaller, but they are open all the time. So they're a great backup gym. And they're a little further away. Admittedly, that's only like 4 kilometers or 2.5 miles for you Americans. But my main gym is like a quarter mile. Not even. Yeah, maybe a quarter mile because I have to drive around the building to get to the parking lot in the front because my house is behind the mall. So, yeah, so again, no apology. And then you get back home and you say, okay, well, at least let me write the management because I'm in that age group now. At least let me write the management and tell them what has occurred. And you say, again, struggle opening. This is, and trust me, this is like I never had a problem with this main gym before. They've been open for a little over 6 years now. And, they've never had an issue with opening until 2025. And it's honestly, it's the staff that they have opening the gym now. It's like these little Gen Z. That's a little dismissive. These younger Gen Z women. It could be the boys too if it was a boy. I don't know. I don't think there's boys that are that age that can get up that early to go work, but that are basically I remember a couple of times they didn't show up till like 5:15, and they show up, in an Uber with a Starbucks in their hand, and it's just bad planning. Some days there was just schedule miscommunication. They didn't know who was working. So I don't know. There's this dismissive attitude of the person that's supposed to be there at 5 a.m. Like, I don't go to the gym at 5 a.m. because I absolutely love waking up that early. I go to the gym at 5 a.m. because I'm trying to get my workout done so I don't have to worry about it in the afternoon. I'm trying to avoid the massive crowds that are there in the afternoon where the parking lot is full in the front and filling in the back. And an hour workout takes 2 because you have to wait for everything. I also find that my main gym, it's dirty. The weights are all disorganized in the morning. Clearly the people that are there at night are just trashing the place. I think there's a certain cross-section of humanity that goes to a gym at between 4 and 9 in the evening. That is not the greatest cross-section of humanity. And from what I've heard from other people that go to that gym is that the management is, let's just say, less than optimal. That they don't quite know what they're doing. I see the same machines broken or out of order for a month, 2 months. I don't know. It's supposed to be like this high-end or higher-end gym. Not maybe like some of the private athletic clubs. It's still a regular gym, but not a private athletic club that you would find like downtown. But, they have a pool and they have a tanning area. I guess most places have that now. But it's this dismissive attitude. And you write them and you say, can you guys please remember that even though the management never sees us, the morning clientele exists and are clients. And they did ask for clarification of what happened, which is crazy because you would figure there would have been some sort of incident report. But no, I had to tell them that, your staff, I did say your staff was there on time. I did say your staff did inform us, but your staff couldn't open the lights. And all I said is maybe get an electrician to put a secondary set of switches on the other side of the wall from where the switches are currently behind the door. I don't know. I think a lot of places are going that direction where it's just like they just don't care. Like there's no care for service anymore. Like no one cares. Like they just it's going to bleed into a huge discussion about, that we're all working peasants basically, which is what we are. The new argument's $100,000 gets you a paycheck to paycheck life. And I think the pace of like humanity's struggles and seeing the news and social media, and of course, wages have risen like maybe 2% a year, if that. And yet prices have gone up like 20-30%. They said inflation was at 8%. I looked at my grocery bill. It's 40% higher than it ever was before the pandemic. So I think people just feel squeezed all the time, and yeah, they stop caring about their job. I mean, the classic saying, right? My boss makes $1 and I make a dime. That's why I poop on company time. I think that's probably part of it. And I think also this younger generation, in their defense, also feels really hopeless about everything. But maybe if they could just figure out how to turn on the lights in the gym, that would be nice. Okay.